Todd has asked me to make my roll recipe because he doesn't think that I tell people the truth. He thinks that I put a secret ingredient in it because they have a hard time making it come out right. So he asked me if I would do it, and so he could video it so that he could prove whether it was right or whether it was wrong. My mom is the one that actually got the recipe. She was with her friend, and her name was Elsie Nielsen. And she served these rolls, and Mom liked it, and this was back in probably 1956. So the recipe really does have special meaning to us because she was a very dear special friend. First thing I do is put 3 eggs, full eggs, in a bowl to mix up, and you beat them until they are the color of lemon. And I always use a spatula that is colored. Color is good. It always makes things taste better. I think that's probably the secret ingredients. That and love. Okay, then the next thing you do is you put 1 cup of evaporated milk and 1 cube of butter, and I always use butter. It's a lot better than margarine. It has a very good flavor. 1 teaspoon of salt. Probably this is where I get carried away because I love things sweet. So I put a 1/2 cup of sugar, and the real recipe didn't call for a 1/2 cup, but I put that in. Then you always have to put at least a tablespoon of sugar in with the yeast. So while I've got the sugar out, I'll do that. Then I always count because there's 4 ingredients that go in the liquid: the salt, the butter, the milk, and the sugar. Then I put it in the microwave for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Okay, it'll be pretty warm at this point, and you want to be very careful because if I was to put this into the egg yolk now, hot like this, it would cook the egg. So I'm going to let it cool while I get the yeast processing. You use room temperature water. Too hot would kill the yeast, and too cold it would take too long for it to raise. So I like it lukewarm, and you want to get it like at your elbow if you test it, because otherwise it will feel like it's warm when it isn't. A tablespoon of yeast, and it's granulated, and 1/4 cup of water. Be sure and stir the sugar and the yeast in with the water so that it's all mixed. Once the butter has melted and the liquid is the right temperature, then very slowly stir it in. And you do it slowly just in case it's still too hot. This way it does not burn or cook the egg. After I get this all mixed in, it's very important that you make sure that it's okay before you put the yeast in, because it's very easy to kill the yeast, and if you do that, it does not taste very good. Then I put the yeast in after it has raised, and then mix it in real well. Then add 4 cups of flour, and then I take a spatula, taking all of the sides that's on the sides, the flour and whatever mixture has gotten on it, and then mix it really, really good. This is what it looks like, and it's actually softer than most of your yeast bread that you make, but that is okay. That's what makes it so good and so light. So after you've mixed it really good, then you put the lid on it. If you don't have a lid that fits on your bowl, you can use saran wrap, a towel, or whatever that you want. Now, tonight, I will forget totally about it because I won't roll this out till in the morning. You can make it the same day that you're going to use it, and allow about 2 to 3 hours for it to raise. I think 2 hours is plenty. And then at that point, you can roll it out. It will be twice the size, and it will be a loose dough that will kind of have holes in it. It will look soft. And when I roll it out, it will almost look like it is too soft, but it works in real well. I use the surface on my counter to roll these out, but first of all, I spray with the cooking spray. Then I add the flour. I keep my flour in an ice cream tray, and the reason for the ice cream container, the reason for that is I keep it in the fridge, because in Texas you get weevil in your flour very fast. Spread the flour evenly all over, and then I put the dough on top. This is half of the dough. After you get the mixture, I divide it in half. So this is 1/2 of it, and you don't want to mix it a lot or knead it. You don't want to knead it a lot. And it's best if you can make it as much in a circle to start with. It's supposed to be a perfect circle. I've never done a perfect circle in my life. It's supposed to be cut into 16 pieces, and I've never been able to get them all the same size. So that's part of the fun, because then when they're all done, I always get to eat either the darkest ones or the little ones, because you have to taste every batch just to make sure that when you serve it, it tastes good. Now this isn't going to be too bad. My mother could get it perfect, but I think she just had more patience than me. Spread butter, not margarine. I guess if margarine is all you had, you could use it. But good old butter you can't beat. Spread it really good all over all of it. Edges too. Then I take a pizza cutter and try to find the center. And then go through the center this way. And then divide these into 4. Okay, use the cooking oil on your pan. Then I start at the big end and roll in. Then I place it on the tray and I squeeze the ends so that they're like that. Next step is to put butter on top of each one of them. Now you can use a brush if you prefer to. But I kind of think that as I put this on with my fingers, that the love that's in my soul kind of comes through onto the rolls. Make sure they're covered good. Make sure your hands are clean too. Then cover them with a dishcloth, towel, or something to cover them and protect them. Now if it's cold weather and you want them to raise pretty fast, put them under a light so that they're warm. If not, just put them away and forget about them for 2.5 to 3 hours. This is the way they look before. This is what they look like when they're ready to put in to bake. You bake it at 350 degrees. They bake for 12 minutes, and sometimes it depends on your oven. It may take a little bit longer and not quite so long. So I usually put them at 10 minutes and then check them. And if they're not brown enough, because I like them brown. When they're browned really good, the sugar that is in the mixture comes out with a wonderful flavor. I put it on the middle shelf so that it browns evenly. This is when they're done. I've taken these out of the oven now, and I'm going to baste them with butter, melted butter again. This is a very important step. And oh, I wish you could have smelled the smell as they were cooking, because it is so awesome. I love making rolls. In fact, I love cooking. But the thing I like the best about it all is the reaction of the grandkids and the people as they walk into the house and they're baking. I love all of you, and Merry Christmas to all of you.